and forgets about it. Several hours later, at shift change, he's giving an informal report to the incoming shift manager and casually mentions that he found something like a pipe bomb or something in the lot and that he threw it away under the register. The shift manager goes white as a ghost and says, "There's a pipe bomb under the register?" Michael says, "Yeah." The shift manager immediately vacates the premises, herds all the employees and customers out, and phones the authorities. The volunteer fire department, which I happen to be a member of, got toned out to block traffic into the parking lot and keep people at a distance. The sheriff's department shows up, realizes this is above their pay grade, calls the state police. They quickly realize the same and call in the bomb squad from the nearest major city and the ATF. All these important people are slowly gathering in the parking lot a healthy distance away from the building while I keep having to run back and forth across the parking lot in the 95-degree heat in turnout gear to explain to pissed-off truck drivers that no, they cannot go in the truck stop while there's a bomb inside, and no, I did not make that rule. The news ends up showing up. The ATF shows up. They suit up in bomb suits, walk in, carry the pipe bomb out, set it on the ground at the corner of two concrete walls of the building, run some detonation cord back to their truck, and set it off. The explosion was the size of a somewhat large firecracker. Michael got fired. Overnight shift supervisor 15 years ago. On Valentine's Day, then 18 years old, I was the only lonely motherfucking shift supervisor to be able to work second shift at MCB's rest area because, again, lonely with no date. I'm half asleep working the shift. The guy comes in high as a kite. Actually, he's higher than kites can go. He orders his food and leaves. An hour later, my cleaning guy, we'll call him Pedro, tells me there's a guy on the toilet that won't come out. We go in, keep knocking, and we're thinking he's sleeping on the shitter. We can see his pants around his ankles, and he's leaning down. While I go call the cops, I tell my cleaning guy to block the bathroom, so no one goes into that part of it. There are two sides to the bathroom. Pedro comes out and tells me the guy is purple and dead, on the shitter. He overdosed on something, not sure what. The kicker is that Pedro decided it was in his best interest to run the guy's pockets before the cops show up, which is how he found out the guy was dead. Pedro took the guy's stash and money before leaving. I found out a week later as I overheard it through the crew talking. Fun times at that place. Felt bad for the guy. I wouldn't want to go out that way. I used to work at a video poker room in a truck stop. A guy comes in, already so sloppy drunk that he can barely walk, thrusts a 44-ounce foam cup in my face, and tells me to fill it with whiskey. I tell him, first, that would be $88. Second, I can't serve alcohol to someone who is already drunk. And third, I can't use an outside cup. He stops and stares at me for a moment, then thrusts the cup in my face and repeats himself. I tell him that it's not happening because I cannot for both legal and business policy reasons. He tries to get aggressive, but stumbles and falls over, so I tell the security guard, who was about as useful a coloring book to a blind person, to call the police. Dumbass was watching the whole thing and couldn't be bothered to even get off of his stool to do anything. And then, it happens. He pukes all over himself on the floor. When the cops arrive, we're all standing over this guy who is trying to get out of the puddle of puke and failing miserably, and is only succeeding in spreading. The police decide to call an ambulance because he is far gone enough that he could have alcohol poisoning. I tell the security guard to go get some cat litter out of storage that we usually use to clean up fuel spills. Once he gets back, one of the cops got it in his head that we should take the guy out back and hose him off. So they put on rubber gloves and carefully half-drag, half-carry the guy outside, take everything out of his pocket, and use a hose to spray him. So now, not only is this guy half dead from drunkenness, he smells like alcoholic vomit, and spraying him off only made him smell worse because apparently he had soiled himself earlier, and it had dried, so it didn't smell too terrible. Spraying him did wake him up, though, so he starts trying to get up, but can't because he's sloppy drunk and isn't really coherent. The ambulance arrives, they strap him to the gurney, and drive him off. The guy never came back to the video poker room, so I don't know if he survived. What I do know is that the cops were obviously disgusted by the whole thing because I could see one guy gagging from time to time, and I took a look to see if everything was all right.
Things that I've come to love about Thanksgiving as a German expat in the US. First of all, I really like how many holidays Americans celebrate in the fall and winter. In Germany, it's mainly just Christmas, but here you have Halloween and Thanksgiving first, and Thanksgiving almost feels like a little Christmas, which I love. I also love how it's an additional family holiday where most people get to see their extended family and spend some quality time with them. Number 3 is that I really like the fall theme of Thanksgiving. All those decorations just really make you appreciate the fall season even more and get you into that holiday spirit. We don't really have a fall themed holiday in Germany, at least not one that we actually celebrate. Also, for me as a vegetarian, traditional Thanksgiving food is pretty great, except for turkey of course, but the sides are mostly vegetarian. And last but not least, I really like the idea of dedicating the day to being grateful. Of course, people do that for Christmas as well, or just without any occasion, but I like that many people take the time to actually articulate what they're thankful for. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone!
Your work can feel much smoother with Monday.com WorkOS. This smooth.
Doorbell cameras could force you to. Sometimes these doorbell cameras capture incredible, funny, but sometimes these doorbell craziest and funniest doorbell camera clip like this one. This son seems to have had a little too much to drink and forgets that his dad's birthday party is meant to be a surprise.
Dude, how are you the last one to show up to your own party? That is messed up. Your birthday party, what are you talking about?
Do it!
What?
Surprise party!
Surprise party?
Are you drunk?
What the heck? It's a party.
You guys can come out there and mess this up! Seriously! Where
What
did
is where all the cars were?
How stupid can you be?
Why are you just saying it's a surprise party?
Runs into the house, seriously trips while running. Red-handed, just as he wasn't caught.
You guys should come in on before you get pulled in. Take your rifle.
Neighbor gets.
Yeah.
Girl's Jamaican neighbor doesn't like trick or treat.
Your rifle.
Destroyed the Ring doorbell camera. Karma for trying to destroy the Ring doorbell camera. Gets
Done.
karma for trying to destroy the Ring doorbell camera. Laying the package by the door. Instead, he decides to practice his aim with this package. Some someone had tried to break in at 3 a.m. Instead, she found this goofy guy having the time of... Dad tries to act like he didn't break the glass bottle.
Go!
Doorbell camera. Of squatting, the woman lies and says she works for the state, but she's really just being a nosy and irritating neighbor.
Who are you? Investigator from the California State Board of Equalization.
Okay,
So
what are
do
you
you,
looking for?
do you own this property? Are you the owner? I'm looking for the owner of the property.
Well, then I'm pretty sure if you're the tax fraud investigator for the state of California that you'll know how to find a property owner.
Well, if you're not the tenant on the lease, then I'm going to have the police out here and have you removed in 2 days. You understand?
You're funny.
Are you laughing at me?
You look like you're on drugs.
Unless you, looks like you're on drugs.
Well, you're being
So,
That's
not quarters here at the,
handle your business.
remove from this property in 2 seconds. Construction without a license.
Handle your business, bitch.
That are caught on...
House like shit.
You look like shit. Go take a shower.
They can also be used just halfway around the world from his kids. The camera capturing the funny moments. Fits. Nothing. Woman pulls a knife on her neighbor. And attempts to burn a black Walmart, but she couldn't have been more lucky, as this wonderful Florida man drove to her house and returned it.
Amazon Daxis. Well, I'm putting by the Amazon Daxis.
Mistakes the owners for a furry toy, though he thought. Pro athlete, or so they thought. For a little longer ride this morning than expected, as Mom let go of the straw. Didn't get her named her 3 stairs. Stairs. This disturbing footage shows a young woman abandoning her 3-year-old boy at a stranger's house. When the homeowner opened the door, she pushed the baby in the door and walked away. The woman was later arrested and charged for unlawful desertion of a child and child neglect. She also said she abandoned her son because he had gotten sick with scabies, a contagious itchy skin rash, and could apparently no longer take care of him. The kid was placed in the care of in the middle of the night, and for some reason he's also fully naked, dancing mailman trying to... This cat is desperately trying to alert the owner to open the door. Homeowner's dog. If, because in this next clip was chased by that dog, he would probably pass out because go as planned. There's to do. Well, let me show you something that is always funny. The things that have happened. Eric Jortesler recently been hit.
So if you missed last week, here's the landscape that was presented in terms of where impact investing is. So you don't know enough about those three companies that Rachel Organization created. Well, then this is a pretty good map. Right? So there are nonprofits that do break even. There are nonprofits that make money, but still try and maximize their impact, like this one over here. And there are for-profits that are not out to make a profit. There are companies that have just decided that partnering is not. But we don't know what form of structure, the normal way to invest is equity. Equity is in buying shares, owning part of the company. But in emerging markets in Africa, it's extremely common to see debt investing, despite the see it enough equity because they can look at daycare with nonprofit. And it's hybrid. And hybrid is that whole green section that's overlapping. And so then you have a company that may in fact be two companies. Or you may have a company that's multiple pieces. So this shows up in multiple forms as well. Really quickly, on the for-profit side, it shows up as either a philanthropic investment. So it's possible to take philanthropic dollars and use them to invest in for-profits. That sounds a little strange, but my nonprofit, that's what we do. That's what we specialize in doing. And the other one is called fiscal sponsorship. It is legal to donate to a nonprofit and then have that nonprofit give most of the money to the for-profit to do the work. If you enjoy spending more time on business, I would recommend you do that.
Mike Bird, Excel. If you want to apply, you'll have to choose one of these options. Before we get started, let's check it. Well, the main factors that will likely make your decision have to do with the price and also the features available. With Office 2021, you pay a one-time fee and you get a perpetual or lifetime license to Office. So if you're still using this copy of Office that you bought, say 6 years from now, you don't have to pay Microsoft again. Office 2021 comes in two different versions. You have Home and Student, and that costs $150. With that, you get the desktop apps for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, and you also get Microsoft Teams. There's another version called Home and Business. That costs Home and Student but you also get the addition of Microsoft Outlook, plus you can use it for commercial purposes. Now, if this option sounds pretty good, unfortunately, there are some downsides. Microsoft definitely wants more people to choose the Microsoft 365 option. With Office 2021, you can only install it on one PC. So if you have two PCs, you'll have to buy another license. Also, with this option, you'll never again get any feature updates. So it truly is what you buy is what you get. This is probably the best option if you really just despise subscription fees and you don't really care about getting all the latest features. With Microsoft 365, on the other hand, this is a subscription offering. So you'll have to keep paying money over time for the privilege to continue using Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Now, obviously, this is Microsoft's preferred option, but why would anyone ever choose to get a subscription over a one-time fee? With Microsoft 365, you'll actually end up paying less in the first 2 years. With the individual plan, it's $70 per year. And with the family plan, which is good for up to 6 people, you'll end up spending $100 per year. With Microsoft 365, you get everything that you get in Office 2021, but you get even more. You get up to 6 terabytes of storage space with the family plan, and that's ideal for backing up photos and videos. I know at least I personally do that with all of my videos that I upload onto YouTube. With the family plan, you can install Office on up to 30 different devices. I don't have nearly that many devices around my house, but it's nice to know that that's an option. You also get 60 minutes of international Skype calling, you get access to additional apps like Access and Publisher, and you get many other features and services as well. One of the biggest benefits is it's updated over time. So as Microsoft continues investing in it, and as they continue releasing new features, you'll automatically get them as part of your subscription. The best way to visualize the difference, Microsoft 365 is constantly being updated, and you'll frequently see new features land. While with Office, it's just one point in time, and you'll frequently see a new version come out every 2 to 3 years. Now that we've talked about the high-level differences, what's new in Office 2021? You now have something called real-time co-authoring, and that's available in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. This allows you to work with others on the same document. The one caveat is your document has to be stored in OneDrive, but you can access at least 5 gigabytes for free. You also get access to modern comments. You can see who's in your document at the same time. There's also been a visual refresh, and it matches the look of Windows 11. You'll see rounded windows, a more neutral color palette. Don't have to worry about constantly pressing Control F. You can now save documents in the Open Document Format, or ODF. There's an updated Draw tab. You can use a sketch style outline. You can enter hash colors in the color picker. There have also been performance updates across the board. In Excel, there are now many new functions. There's a new one called XLOOKUP, which is quite a bit better than VLOOKUP. It allows you to look things up in your spreadsheet. If you want to learn more about XLOOKUP, check out the video right up above. You can now also use dynamic arrays, like filter, sort by, and there are many others. You can use the let function, and with the let function, you can assign names to calculation results. You can also use XMatch, and with this function, you can search for a specified item in an array, and you can get the relative position back. You can also set up various sheet views to help you get back to the view that you care about. In PowerPoint, you can now record your presentation using video and audio. You can also record your inking on a slide. In Outlook, you can now instantly search for messages. And lastly, you can also ink to annotate your message in Outlook. In Word, there's something new called Line Focus, which helps you read a document by just focusing on one line at a time. Lastly, Microsoft Teams now comes bundled together with Office. Previously, you could download Microsoft Teams, but now it just comes with Office, so you no longer have to go out to get it. So how does all of this new functionality compare to Microsoft 365? Well, it turns out that none of this functionality is new to Microsoft 365. As these new features were developed, they just automatically became part of Microsoft 365. With Office 2019 and then Office 2021, all of these features got bundled, and then every 2 or 3 years, there's a big drop of new functionality. Given all of that, which one should you choose? At least me personally, I have a Microsoft 365 subscription, but then again, I also produce YouTube videos on Office, and I need the latest functionality. I also really like having up to 6 terabytes of space to back things up in OneDrive. To me, that's all very worthwhile. But I can also understand why maybe you don't want another subscription fee. If you're just using Microsoft Word and you need the basic authoring functionality, why pay an ongoing